Say that word. Oh, hey, welcome, America, to the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin, presented by, hold on, let me see who the sponsor is today. Oh, shit, it's the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin. Have you ever considered coming on the show? I think you should, but first you have to fill out an application because we have a very stringent policy now. Go to the ericandrodneyshow.com. You'll find one there. Then you go, oh my God, I was so good on the Eric and Rodney Show. I should be on lots of shows because I'm incredible and I need to get my voice out there. We can book you on 1 million shows. I know that sounds like hyperbole. It is not. We have 1 million connections. We're very popular. Very popular. Then you go, oh my God, I was so good on the Eric Rodney Show. I was so good on other podcasts. I should have my own show. I'm a fucking star. All right. I don't need to rely on other people having me on. I have them on. But who's going to produce it? Who's going to edit it? Who's going to post it? You're never going to believe this. We can go to the ericandrodneyshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, very special guest today. With the soft J, it's Jacek Grebski, the Chief Product Officer at Topl. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Welcome to the show, yes.
Good to be here.
Can you take down that banner?
Oh, I'm sorry. He hates the banner. Rodney has.
I hate the banner.
Rodney hates that banner. Like
we hate marketing and advertising and sales.
Yeah, why try to sell stuff?
Yeah, who needs that? That's communism. Yay!
Yay! Come social.
You ever meet people though, and they're like, I met a guy one time, right? And he was talking to me, and he's like, well, "What do you do for a living?" I used to work in finance, and I was trying to explain, and I knew he would never understand. And I said, "You know what? I sell things." And he's like, "I hate salespeople." And I'm thinking, what? How's that possible? We're always selling. It's always baffled me when people are like, I hate salespeople. I'm like, how does anything get done?
How do you, here's the bullshit thing too. We live in a capitalistic society. We like buying things as well. Buying things gives us pleasure. I wouldn't know about things that I like unless people tell me about things that I like. So this argument that marketing and sales is, I know we're in it, so we're predisposed to liking it. But what the fuck? I wouldn't know about great bourbons or hot sauces unless somebody fucking advertised those things. And that's the sales. Anyway, yeah, well, I'm always right. You're going to figure this out throughout the course of this show. Yes, so I know you've seen some clips, but the general structure of the show is we talk about the news for the first half hour, and then we do the evening gown portion of the evening, and that's you. That's when we interview you. And I've said it in the green room. It's very complicated what you do, so you're going to explain it to us like we're 3 dumb 5-year-olds, which in many ways we are. But
you're 15 together.
We're 15
That's
together.
Right. That's right.
Which is how age
You gotta
works.
figure this out.
Yeah, it is, right? So like you're like an angsty teenager.
Mhm.
That's more true
That
than
is-
you'll ever know.
Yeah.
No idea.
It's
Garrett,
a perfect age to get into crypto.
What's up, Garrett?
Okay, but before we cover the news, every day in this country, some reason to celebrate some national news or some national things. So we got to get behind. I think we've done something similar, but we didn't do the deep dive that we're going to do today. Today is National Gazpacho Day. I don't know how you guys feel about gazpacho, but I think a cold soup is just a chunky drink, and I don't like it.
What is this, like tomato juice?
This is a margarita? I mean, a Bloody Mary?
Thank you. Yes, it's a Bloody Mary without the part that makes a Bloody Mary drinkable. It's just,
dude, gazpacho is so good. It's so good.
I don't know, man.
I got to be honest, it is good. But the last one I had, I believe it was made with ketchup and some from a can. So I was a little bit.
Everybody is defending gazpacho.
I'm sorry. I'm just
It's
sorry.
No, we need friction on the show. We need a little. First of all, I know Robin's never had gazpacho because they only have one kind of soup in the Philippines, and it's called soup. But it's
That's
not.
right.
But don't. Okay, so here's my argument. Every other soup is warm. This is a cold soup. I don't think soups should be cold. I know. Thank you for acknowledging this. I like everything, and I don't like gazpacho. I don't particularly like Bloody Marys, but I do like spaghetti sauce and what else? Ketchup. I'm not anti-tomato, is I guess what I'm saying, regardless of the temperature. But I just don't think gazpacho is. And listen, I love Spanish cuisine. Don't get me wrong. Give me a paella all fucking day. Gazpacho though. So we'll put a pause here.
I've never been a big fan of soups. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, well, we're gonna do a deep dive into soups. So I'll say this about the internet: only communists don't like gazpacho. I don't think is that a trait in the communist society.
Well, one viewer did say, or did comment one time that the communism vibes were strong with the young guy, which would be Robin.
Oh yeah, Robin. Do you have a predisposition towards cold soup? You don't
Are
know.
you a young Stalin?
Yeah, I think I'm a communist.
You're a communist?
Well, he lives in the Philippines.
Well, a few shows ago, I made a remark about the American healthcare system, and someone called me "Kid Commie" or something like that.
Yeah, Kid Commie. That's right.
Tommy, that's right.
Yeah, dude, don't come to Miami, man. You'll get they'll castrate you.
Well,
They'll kill you.
he's
Yeah,
already
did.
been
you can't say the C word down here, man.
funny.
Yeah, every other country's healthcare system is stupid. Ours is the only one that makes sense, and it's for profit, right? That makes us, God. Anyway, let's get into soups real quick. I'll say this about the internet. Nobody was bold enough to rank soups correctly. And by that, I mean, no one's had the balls to say a chowder is the best, a bisque is second, a stew is third, a gumbo. So what they did do, I think, to be diplomatic, is they broke it up. So there's the 10 best chicken soups. Thailand, I can't argue with. I think Thai is the greatest cuisine, period. So their soups obviously belong on top. The rest of these, and I'll say this is going to be true of every other soup we're going to bring up, wacky names I can't pronounce. Can you do, and I mean, Jacek, you got a soft J. Can you do any of these? I mean, this is
Yeah. So the first one, probably not. So having been to Romania, it's ciorba. Zema.
Have you had ciorba? Is that it?
I've not had ciorba. Rada. I can't do the second word.
Well, you try.
Supa chu tai te. I know. Man, Romania is like crushing it. Look at that. They got like 2 on here.
In the top 10? That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Bella Chorba.
You nailed that one. Yeah.
Serbian.
Yeah.
Sopa de gallina India. That's easy.
Holy shit.
Inchikapi. Rosu skóry. That's because I speak Polish fluently and Spanish. So
there it is.
And Chiki. I can't do the Georgian.
This just okay. So stay with me. These are the best chicken soups. All right. Yeah. We also have the best seafood soups ranked. This one blew my mind because number one is this thing I've never heard of, and it has a hilarious name. Between those two things, how have I not heard of this thing? But I looked it up. It's like a cod, I think it's close to an Irish seafood chowder, but that's. Have you ever had a Cullen skink?
A Cullen skink.
It's a fucking hilarious soup name.
That's a good name.
I mean, is it better than a Cullen skank?
No, easy.
That's a good question.
The show is very liberal, but nothing is better than a Cullen.
I don't see Grandma's chili on here. Is that on the next slide?
Oh, you know what?
Grandma's soup, Grandma's special soup.
This is what bothers me. We got shut out. Chicken noodle soup got shut out of the top 10. Americans are not represented on this. We're barely represented here. Thank God clam chowder comes in the great category.
Oh, wait. I was watching a video.
Oh, yeah, I do see that. What about Manhattan clam chowder? Do we know that?
That's buried up. You know what? I don't even think that would make my.
We're not. Yeah, that's not even gonna. No.
Isn't Massachusetts very famous for clam chowder?
Yeah.
That's a thing, there, right?
Yeah, the only soup that's represented so far in the United States is New England clam chowder.
They invented it. Eric's family invented clam chowder. So
amazing. But look, there's another chorba here.
Oh, chorba! I've never had a single chorba. And chorbas are fucking everywhere on this.
Chorba's crushing it.
I know. I think bisque is very good too. I think bisque. I mean, listen. Obviously, I'm a soup novice looking at the soups of the world. These are the world's best vegetable soups.
Oh gosh. Okay. Wait. Oh, Philippines #1 sinigang.
Yeah. You like? That's why
I do. It is delightful. It could be either sinigang pork, sinigang seafood, or sinigang fish. The best is sinigang prawn, in my opinion. It's a very savory, sourish soup.
Oh, okay. Does it have noodles?
It tastes very fresh. No noodles.
No noodles.
But it feels like you're eating like a salad and a soup at the same time.
Oh, very healthy.
So something I want to point out here is that there are 3 cold soups here, including the gazpacho.
Son of a bitch. I know. Well, okay, gazpacho comes in at okay. What are the other cold ones? Is borscht?
The salta barszczai, the one in the upper right-hand corner, the Lithuanian one, and the one in the lower right-hand corner, the Polish one.
Oh, shit. Does that Lithuanian one have a boiled egg on top?
It does indeed. And dill.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, a cold soup with boiled egg and dill. All right. I mean, it's the best.
I have tried it, and I will tell you, it is bomb.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it is absolutely incredible.
You know, is that third one on the bottom there, minestrone? Is that from Olive Garden?
It's the all-you-can-eat.
Is that the Olive Garden
minestrone?
Yeah.
I agree that minestrone is good, but it's just okay. It's a decent.
Feel about face.
I don't know. I
Not
want to
even
know.
real soup. It's fakes.
It's a bullshit soup.
They tried
All
to fake us out.
Those Greeks are always
Yeah.
fucking with us. That's great.
It's like we had fake news, now we had fake soup.
I'd still, if it's warm, I'm eating it over gazpacho. That's for goddamn sure. So then we move on to stews and curries. They didn't have the traditional but I think man, the United States is shut out here until we got gumbo. We're coming at number 49, gumbo finally. So we have clam chowder and gumbo are the only American soups that showed up on any lists, and I feel very badly about this. Number 22, I lived in Korea, kimchi jjigae. Yes. As a matter of fact, I haven't had these other soups, but it should definitely be higher. Massaman curry is unbelievable, but I don't know that it's a soup.
Penang curry is amazing.
Penang curries, all of these honestly, Thai cuisine.
Yeah.
We gotta work on this list. But again, where the fuck is? I didn't see ramen anywhere. I mean, maybe it's not a chicken or a stew or a veg. I don't know.
Yeah, that's that's really disappointing because if you think about it, ramen is just so delicious.
It's
I have another question too. I'm no genius. I'm no food doctor, but is couscous? I thought was not a soup. It's more of a
no. Couscous isn't a soup.
Oh, consistency. Yeah. Number 48. Isn't that couscous? What is that? Did I miss that?
Yeah, it does say couscous.
Oh gosh, it is.
That's confusing.
But I think we're talking about stews.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Still,
somehow it beat gumbo. I've had a lot of couscous, and it's never.
Couscous is a little one note to me, traditionally speaking.
Maybe it's a little quinoa to me.
Yeah, a little quinoa. It's not bad, but I don't think it's better than gumbo.
Well, it's not terrible. Yeah, it's not better than gumbo. I mean, I would eat it if we put it in the gumbo, but probably not by itself.
I have nothing against couscous. I'm just saying it's not as good as gumbo. I don't know why they're in the same category. I will say this, though. There's a great show on Netflix called Chef's Table, I think. The Ivan Ramen episode where this American guy goes over to Japan and opens up a noodle store and everybody hates him because he's American, but then he ends up crushing it. And I think the subtext is interesting because the Japanese, I guess, are very traditional when it comes to food. The only thing you're allowed to fuck with is ramen, which explains why Americans might be better because we fuck with everything. We don't give a shit. We're not tied to tradition. Which is why we do like flaming hot Dorito tacos. It doesn't always work out. All right, it doesn't always work out, but sometimes it does in the ramen case. Yummy yum yums. All right, well, listen, we killed 12 minutes with soup, so we got to get to the news. that was something.
The park.
We really went to the bottom of the bowl on that one.
oh, I see what you did there. Very clever.
Yes. Okay.
All right, Robin, what do we got?
So this first story is a bit of a testament to showing us that the U.S. education system is pretty messed up. So we've actually talked about this multiple times on the show, but they're saying that the stats are American students' math scores have plunged by 13 percentage points. So some officials are saying that it's a crisis in mathematics achievement. I know a lot of people argue that we don't really need math. We have calculators. We'll never be in situations where we need to calculate stuff. While I agree with some of that, I've always sort of looked at mathematics as like a baseline of measuring critical thinking as well.
Of course,
so
the Asian would feel that way. We're not very good at math, Robin. I'm sorry. Jesus.
So it's not so much about like pushing the buttons on the calculator, but like knowing when it makes sense to push those buttons and to calculate stuff and have critical thinking to apply that to practical everyday use. And from this story, it just doesn't seem that way from America.
I will say that this story does the typical thing that stories do, which is sort of they sensationalize. So here are the numbers. Traditionally, so when they took this test in 2018, we scored 478 out of 1,000 on math. These are 15-year-old students. This year, we came in at 465. So it's a drop, but many of the successful mathematic nations, Iceland, Norway, Poland, Slovenia, they had even bigger drops. So it seems like a worldwide drop. Now, we are up across the board. We used to be 8th in reading. We're now 6th. We used to be 11th in science. We're now 10th. We used to be 29th in math, and now we're 26th. So across the board, we're doing okay. But I think the larger question is Robin's thing, which is, I'm not xenophobic at all. I shit on the United States a lot. But for everything that we fucking contribute in the world, being 6th, 10th, and 26th across the board, it's pretty fucking good. We're still the world's largest economy. We're still the greatest army on the planet. Like, you got to give us a little fucking leeway here. All right. What do you want us to be the best at everything? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the question, so reading, I had this argument over a fire drunk with my sister. She's a doctor, so she's much smarter than I am. But do students need to know trigonometry, for example? Because I think if you give me,
I do.
Anyone here, you do?
No, I use it every day. Earlier, before I got on here, I was measuring out the angles in my room here, making sure they were straight.
I mean, have you been to like one of those Midwest like fairs like during autumn, and you're like, how do I make this pumpkin? Like, how do I propel this pumpkin right to hit the target? Right, like, dude, trigonometry, man.
Oh, you know what?
Like force angle, right? Like all in your head. Like this is why I need to do math.
See, I just wasn't thinking that hard enough about the subject, I guess. I just think it's use it or lose it. If you give any of us an algebra test right now, do you think we would pass?
No, maybe.
Well, I pulled up. This is a standard math test. I did a standard math test for 15-year-olds in math. This immediately makes my head hurt, and that's not.
I feel like I could pass this one.
8x plus 2, 4. Right, but after number 1, I'm totally lost. I think X means
the answer
3.
is C.
That's usually what it is, right? But guys, we're 4 professionals running around in the world. Could you, if I give you number 14 and a gun to your head, could you ever figure this shit out?
Yeah, looks like 4C2. Looks like yeah. I gotta be honest, I don't ever use this stuff. And here's the thing that's crazy. Robin said earlier, like, you want to be smart enough to know which buttons to push. I gotta be honest. If you can hold in your mind and comprehend that this magic machine here in your hand, if you press it, it's going to do buttons. Yeah. It's going to do things. I think you'll catch on to what buttons to push.
I think you will too. And I think it's one of those things, I'm telling you, like 200 years ago, people are like, you have to learn blacksmithing. And they're like, I don't need to. We can buy shit. They go, no, you have to do it. I think it's the cursive argument. All these boomers are like, kids should learn cursive. Nobody fucking writes in cursive anymore. You don't need to read cursive. I'm sorry that it means a lot to you, but it doesn't fucking matter. It's like Boy Scouts. No one's trapped in the woods anymore. We all have fucking cell phones. If you can't find your way, call the cops. They'll find you. Somebody with a helicopter. So you don't have to learn how to tie ropes. Like, I know it's near and dear to our heart that we should have all these basic skills, but we don't ride horses anymore. That was a basic skill at some point. You have to move on. And I think at some point, these magic machines that can answer all our questions, they're here for a reason.
It's funny you say that.
I'll say this to your rope comment, though, right? I'll say this to your rope comment. I find that tying ropes is incredibly helpful in like my daily life.
You know why I know this? It's your Captain Coconut. I found your Instagram.
Yes. So I learned the ropes not because of Boy Scouts, but because of sailing, right? Yeah. But like the first knot you learn as a sailor is the bowline, right? It's just basically you tie it. It's like a thing, and it's meant to connect to like something to something else. Yep. Dude, I use that thing all the time. Okay. All the time. Like, oh, my fence, like I have this like little wicker thing on my fence. I'm like, shit, that's falling off. Like, what do I do? Fuck, tie a bowline. I'm doing this. What do I do? Fuck, tie a bowline. Incredibly useful for just shit around the house.
I'm sure you're right. So I will say this. Anecdotally, my tree fell over and it was a massacre. We shattered a bunch of ornaments. So then I had to tie the tree like to the shit, like somewhere. I had to tie places. I don't know how to tie knots. It's like I just keep wrapping shit around and hoping for the best. If I knew how to tie a knot, I would be much better off.
Yeah. So but all the other stuff, I agree with you. Right? But knots, no. We need knots.
All right, I'll give you knots. I will say this about math, though. Math doesn't get you laid. Like, this kid is never going to get laid. It's just not like, Jacek, you have guitars in the background. Learning an instrument will get you laid. The best trigonometry kid is never going to get laid, and that's another problem.
It is true.
All right, you want to move on to climate change? Is that a subject you want to lighten the mood?
But that kid who's so good at trigonometry, like, think of all the angles.
Well,
he's got a lot of angles.
Right. If anyone would ever have sex with him, he'd be unbelievable. He'd be like, I didn't even know you could do that. Well, I did a little math.
I did a little adding and subtracting. Now, let me ask you a question. We're talking about climate change. Didn't we solve that last week?
We've solved it over and over, but it turns out it's getting
coming back. All right.
I know it's very
disappointing. This way to Joe Biden.
You know what? Part of it is Joe Biden's fault. I know it. Oh, boy.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Everything's Joe Biden's fault, isn't it? I'm joking.
So, we're approaching the end of 2023, and CNN did a great job at giving us an amazing time lapse of 2023 highlights. It's unfortunately a weird set of highlights because it starts with Canada is burned. An entire Libyan city completely was swept away by floods and joined the underwater kingdom of Atlantis. Major fossil fuel oil projects were approved despite a shift to EVs. And then we also found out earlier in the show that a shift to EVs doesn't really do anything because it just makes cars more available. So our global coal consumption also reached an all-time peak, and the cherry on top, the world average hottest global temperatures were shattered dozens of times, all in the same month this year. So we've really outdone it.
Yeah, and for a scientist to call what's going on gobsmackingly bananas is not good. We are supposed to, like, 1.5 is the absolute the tip of, like, that's doomsday clock scenario, right? If we get up to 1.5, we're on track for 2.9. In terms
that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed.
We've exceeded
according to COP28, like the worst kept secret from COP28, the climate conference this week, was that everyone's just like, we missed it.
Oh, and nobody gives a fuck. So Biden says he's not going to do anything. As it turns out, though, so we pull up the list of the most pollutant cities in the world every time. We are nowhere near the top. It's all India and China. But the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and Norway are all leading the charge on oil and gas expansion from 2023 to 2050. So even the good guys are participating in fucking everything up.
Well, because we need that money, man. We need those tendies.
Yeah, I think people have been getting confused. Let me help you out. If we find oil somewhere, we give them freedom. The oil companies, right, are not going to be like, I remember the other day they were like, well, this oil company is going to host a thing on solar. No, they're not.
No.
They don't care about solar. And here's the other odd thing, right, that doesn't make sense, is that we keep hearing the scientists telling us doom and gloom. Get back in the lab and solve it. Figure it out.
I think the problem
is we don't know what to do.
The scientists have figured it out, but those with money and power don't give a fuck. There was that car company, those students in that Scandinavian university strapped a solar panel on top of a car and it went 600 miles across the Mojave Desert. That's battle tested. I drive down the fucking street to my kid's school. Like, if you strap solar panels to the top of cars, I think we're beginning to solve some fucking problems, but that's never going to happen. Watch who killed the electric car. It's goddamn awful.
Didn't they have COP28 too? In where was it at exactly? Was it Saudi Arabia? Like where's it hosted at? It's like the Middle East, right?
It was Dubai, I think.
Dubai. They use a lot of oil there. I think how they came with all the money. I got to be honest. Like, if somebody invited me in the house and they're like, "Listen, I am a killer. I've killed multiple people," I wouldn't interview them about what to do to people stop killing. It seems silliness.
It's like when they name, it's like Citizens United, and that means corporations can vote. It's one of those things, right? You just put on a show, a dog and pony show. Everybody thinks you give a shit. Here's the other thing: the coal bonanza. This article, just like the CNN article yesterday about the Native Americans not having fucking electricity in their houses. This is equally depressing. Never go to CNN. Go to FoxNews.com. Have a good time. Chuckle at the idiots. Don't go to CNN. It's awful. So China is approving new coal projects at a rate equivalent to 2 every fucking week. Then they go, well, here's the problem. It's getting hot, so we need air conditioning, but we need coal to power the air conditioners because it's hot, but it's getting hot, so we need air conditioning. It's like a never-ending cycle of bullshit, and we're all going to die. This is, Robin, no more CNN. We got to talk about.
Okay, I won't. No more CNN, but my argument on like the statistics that none of the Western countries or the Western cities are contributing too much to global climate change. I disagree with that because when you look at China and India, they're mainly countries that manufacture a lot of things, but the stuff they're manufacturing are stuff that we're ordering. So we're not really.
They're all in bed together. Now, no one thing's going to change. It has to be. And here's the thing. I've mentioned this before. The Eastern European philosopher Zizek, hilarious. But he talks about, like, right now we don't intellectualize climate change because we look outside. The sky's blue. The clouds are there. There's potable water. I'm having a good time. But by the time it gets to my door, we're all fucking dead. Like, you need to change it now or 20 years ago. But we didn't, and it's coming. It's just not here yet. So we're like,
So let me ask you this: if we start, everyone gets an electric car, it's solved. Is that what?
I think that's all we need to do. Just go get yourself a hybrid.
All right. Well, then if listen, maybe they can make them $20,000-$30,000.
If we do some LED light bulbs and we all get in a hybrid, I think we'll solve this problem. The 4 of us here today.
Yeah.
The IEA said that there's no hope if we invest in any new fossil fuel projects, any new ones, and we are loaded with new fossil fuel projects. So enjoy it now. Here's the thing. I just got a diagnosis. My cholesterol is very high. They're like, stop eating cheeseburgers. No more fucking bourbon. Fuck that shit. The environment's going to kill me before my heart does.
Oh, hey. Great segue.
This is fun.
Great start because we're going to talk about McDonald's.
Another one.
Hey-o.
Okay. So before I get into this one, there's a phenomenon that I've experienced, at least with McDonald's, and I kind of want to get your opinion if you've experienced something similar with McDonald's in America. So if I went to McDonald's, say 15 years ago, I remember the food being really delicious. It felt fresh. The ingredients were fresh. I remember at Happy Meal, it really tasted like Happy Meal should. It made me happy. Yeah. And when I order McDonald's today, it just doesn't give me that same feeling anymore. The ingredients feel very cheap. It just feels very processed. I don't know if I'm like crazy or if this is just giving me like nostalgic feeling. But I think the quality control from McDonald's has really gone down the shitter.
I agree with you. I think that, so here's the thing. I went for a long time not eating McDonald's because I vaguely cared about my health. I was a vegetarian for 5 years, but now I have 2 kids. And my daughter, every time we drive past one, she goes, "Can we go to Old McDonald's?" And I think that's fucking adorable. So I bring them to McDonald's. Their food is fucking terrible. And it bothers me because this is representative of American cuisine. Like on the global scale, they think McDonald's is American cuisine, and they should because it's everywhere, but it's fucking garbage. That bothers me, 1. 2, did you read this article? They're revamping all of their burgers. They're doing 50 tweaks to the Big Mac. The cheeseburger was invented in 1880. We've nailed it. We have 150 years of iterations. You don't need to go back to the well on this one. Why do you try quality ingredients and cooking it fresh? That's all you have to do. Stop serving this inedible fucking trash. Yeah, so
does your Big Mac also have like an ungodly amount of mayo?
They don't use mayo. They use special sauce.
Let's get it right.
But
we don't know what's in that special sauce.
But going back to the soup thing from the beginning of the show, right? I mean, like, we're wondering why there's no American food on there. Well, I mean, look at it.
Yeah, I know. That's an excellent point.
Exactly. This isn't a soup.
Like what? Like Chef Boyardee, man? Like for a stew?
Yeah, I went to Italy and I saw the statue of Chef Boyardee. It's gorgeous.
What about Big and Hearty?
Well, okay. I think the burger has credibility. The McDonald's burger has no credibility because Five Guys fucking has a great burger.
Yeah. Shake Shack.
Amazing stuff.
Shake Shack.
Shake
Great
Shack.
burger.
Yeah. Another. Yeah.
So when I said McDonald's was selling on nostalgia, I think that's part of it. It used to be just cheap and fast, but now it's not even cheap anymore. I ran some numbers. This isn't true of every Five Guys because it's regional, but you can get one of these bad boys for $6.49. The Five Guys bacon cheeseburger. It's big, it's cooked fresh, it's delightful. The bun is toasted. A McDonald's Big Mac, $7.70. So this is cheaper than this. McDonald's has lost its way entirely. Their fries are fucking disgusting. And they know it because they're changing, but they did say it took seven years to come up with a new Big Mac.
Why didn't they just buy Five Guys?
No.
Like I always thought to myself, and I'm no marketing doctor, but I always thought to myself, just put out something pretty good, right? And not for my company, but just like if you're McDonald's, put out something pretty good and just buy everybody that's new. Isn't that what Microsoft does? What's Microsoft come out with in the last 100 years? Nothing. They just keep buying companies and investing in them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a logo with 5 arches.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what you could say? You could say, if Five Guys loves us, how could it be wrong? Get on in here.
Yeah.
I just the only reason they're selling garbage is for profit. That's it. Like there's no pride in what they do anymore. And again, it wouldn't bother me so much if McDonald's didn't represent us.
But I think that's a larger problem though, right? Like people, like we've forgotten about quality. We've forgotten about doing things well. Like all we care about is more profit, right? Yep. The reason we have a climate crisis is because we just don't give a shit. We just want more fucking money, right? Mm-hmm. Like, at what point is it enough? Like, at what point do you say, like, I live a pretty good life. I'm cool. Like, I don't need more shit.
There is
no like, do I need 3 Porsches? No, I don't even need 1 Porsche.
You need 4.
I need 4 Cybertrucks. I'm going to connect them. I'm going to connect them, and then I'm going to take the whole highway as I drive my 4 Cybertrucks side by side.
And if anybody says anything, you'll say it's electric. Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
it's electric.
Fuck them.
I think the psychological problem is that we worship the dollar. So anything that gets in your way of worshiping the dollar gets you called a communist. So you go, oh, Elon shouldn't have $3 billion. What are you, you a commie? So once you worship the dollar and those who are rich, you begin to explain away the evil shit that they do. Because if you don't, then you're a socialist. And like everybody agreeing to not make profit to better the world is such a socialist idea. No American can wrap their heads around it. Also,
I know I've already hardly convince you guys to move to the Philippines, but this might be the nail in the coffin.
Didn't you guys just have a earthquake?
Okay,
Sounds
but yes,
scary.
wait. Big Mac prices in the Philippines, $3.50.
Oh my God! But here's the problem: it's still fucking Big Mac. Here, let me ask you this: what's the Whopper price? Because this is my fast food shitty burger. It's the Whopper. So two things on this. One, this is a great ad because it's a Pride ad, and if you notice, the buns are the same. So you get the two top buns.
Okay, I was wondering what happened here. I was like, is that I was thinking at first that was a like a what's that thing? An egg McMuffin, but not a. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks like a McMuffin. Yeah, no,
McMuffin.
This is a
yeah,
great ad for Pride, and they didn't get any of the slack that Bud Light did, which is bizarre. But listen, whatever. Proud of you.
I think Bud Light has a different audience than Burger King.
I think.
I'm surprised DeSantis didn't go after the Whopper.
Yeah, no. What is this?
Well, here's the problem.
Like,
have you seen?
Why is it woke? Why is this burger woke now?
But have you seen him? He can't. If he went after Burger King, what's he going to eat?
That's true. That's true.
McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's doesn't give a shit about.
You can't eat that every day. You gotta mix it up. You gotta have McDonald's, right? You gotta go Wendy's.
Some McDonald's, some Burger King. Maybe some KFC.
Yeah, you gotta mix.
You gotta stop in at White Castle, get some of them chicken rangs.
I have a Whopper Junior in the Philippines. I have the price. It's $1.44.
Now that is worth moving to the Philippines for. A Whopper Junior with cheese is the greatest shitty fast food burger in the history of shitty fast food burgers. Oh my God, Robin, when was the last time you had a Whopper Junior with cheese for $1.30?
About last weekend, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Good for you.
I had no idea.
Does McDonald's still have the dollar menu or no?
No.
So
it's like the $10 menu now.
The $10 menu.
That's another thing that bothers me. When I used to go to McDonald's, I used to get the Turf and Turf. They both were on the dollar menu, the McChicken and the double cheeseburger. $2, bada bingo, bada bingo. Now you get it. It's like $11 and it's terrible.
How much is the fish fillet?
I think it's $4 or something.
That's
McRib.
Those are healthy.
What's fish?
You know what I always liked about the McRib is that you can eat the bones.
The McRib is an abortion of quality.
It has like the rib, and you're like, I remember as a kid, I'm like, this seems really weird. I don't know.
Why does it go with pickles? Oh, it's the worst sandwich. We should do the world's worst sandwiches. McRib. Well, we already know the winner. It's McRib.
I think we might take the cake.
Fucking McRib. Oh, yeah. America.
Yeah.
All right. Jacek, it is now the evening gown portion. You need to teach us like we are 5-year-olds, and I'm gonna structure this because I could not come up with any questions that are reasonable because I don't understand anything. So I did do a screenshot of your okay. Let's start from the top. Well, before we do this, maybe give a little you want to give a little intro, Captain Coconut bio?
Yeah, sure. So Jacek Grebski, Chief Product Officer for Topl. We are a Bitcoin layer 2. So a roll-up that helps facilitate the creation of applications on the Bitcoin network.
Layer 2.
So we may never know.
May never know.
Yeah.
I don't right off the bat. What is layer 2? What is layer 1? Let's start from the history.
I'd like to know that as well.
You want to do?
I have another question too. I remember back in the day, I was working at a startup, and they said this is Web 2.0, and I said, well, why don't we call it Web 10.0? And he said, you can't do that. I said, why? These are imaginary terms anyway. What does it matter?
Yeah.
Is that true or no?
So I work with Web 17.0.
Okay.
No, you don't. This is according to your LinkedIn.
Well, LinkedIn doesn't know shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
LinkedIn's
Anyway,
behind the
that
times.
is according to LinkedIn. God damn it, he got me. The prominence of open information. God damn it. Okay, cool. So where to start? So let's go before we go to blockchain. Let's just kind of talk about technology, right? And where this came out, right?
Please.
So we're on a call right now. This goes over HTTP, right?
Okay.
When you go into your browser, right, HTTP, right, or you see it up there, HTTPS, and that was invented in Switzerland in like the 1980s, right, by some English dude. His name escapes me right now. Anyways, that's an open protocol, right? We have open protocols for websites. We have open protocols like VoIP for voice. We have open protocols for file transfer, like FTP, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we don't have is an open protocol for money.
Okay.
Right? For the transfer of value, right? Because when computers, right, I can make a copy of this video 100 times, send it to 100 different people, and now they have 100 copies of the video.
Like NFTs.
It's like NFTs, right? But like, if you
now this is starting to make a little sense. All right,
Yeah,
you're doing good. Okay.
But if you start copying dollars, well, unless you're the only people who can really copy dollars are the U.S. government, right? If you're not the U.S. government, you start copying dollars. Well, now you're, one, the value of that asset is no longer valuable, right? Because it's infinitely like replicable. But at the same time, right? How do you, right? So how do you have this money protocol? So what Bitcoin did is, or Satoshi Nakamoto, the guy who wrote the Bitcoin white paper, who we don't know who it is, right? It's really Robin. Sorry to blow up your spot, Robin. You're like a bajillionaire. You have more Bitcoin than God.
The world was going to find out eventually.
Yeah. So what Satoshi did in that white paper is he basically created a mathematical means to keep one Bitcoin as one Bitcoin, right? It's divisible, but it's not replicable.
Okay.
So that technology, right, allows for the open transfer of non-replicable value. So if I have a Bitcoin, I have a Bitcoin. If you have an NFT, you have an NFT. You can't just go and copy that NFT because it is a unique thing, right?
That makes
sense. So now we have this thing that is a transfer of value. It's an open transfer of value protocol. Where does blockchain come in? Think of blockchain like nothing more as a ledger, right? It is your account, right? It's a global.
It's like a spreadsheet.
It's a spreadsheet, right? And what you do is you take that spreadsheet, and right now, let's say it's 10:36 a.m. Eastern. That's the state of that spreadsheet, right? The next block, 10:37 a.m. Eastern, and it's stamped. So what you can do is you can see how that spreadsheet changes over time, and that's all it is. It's just saving the state, saving a spreadsheet or a database or state, what is it called, at a snapshot in time.
And it's public, isn't that part of the thing?
That's the first time that's ever made sense. Everyone tried to explain it to me, and I said, I don't even know if they know what they're talking about.
So you have public ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? And then you have private ones like Corda that a lot of organizations use for internal consortium networks and shit like that.
Okay, so now we're going over the basic terms. Now, where do NFTs come into play, and why do they explode, and why are they worthless now?
Okay, that's very good question. NFT.
So explain like we're five.
Yeah.
So NFTs are basically the same thing as so I can go and create, because the technology allows you to create a thing that is unique, right? And digital and unique. I can go and say that, take a picture of whatever, right? I can say that picture is unique. Cool. As to why they exploded, dude, I have no idea why people want to collect cartoon monkeys.
Yeah, because I can take a screenshot of them, and now I have them.
Well, yeah, but you don't, right? You have it, but you don't have the original.
Yeah.
Well, I think here's a question. Hold on. Here's a question I have, right? I'm just asking. I know when you create music, right? We create a program, people pay you, you get paid.
Yeah.
When you have an NFT, and this is why I'm asking, this is what I thought the problem was. Let's say you had an NFT, I take a screenshot of it, and I post it, right? You're not getting paid, right?
No.
So then how is it, you know what I mean? Unless somebody values it, it's worthless because you can't generate revenue off of it.
Yeah, so people people collect all sorts of dumb shit, right? They collect Star Wars figurines, right? They collect.
So it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Just digital.
Yeah, it's just just collect it, they collect snow globes for fuck's sake, right?
I see the allure. Thank you for acknowledging what I always thought. I thought that people got into it because it was speculative and they were creating false scarcity. At least, look, I'm not into baseball card collecting, but there's like 2 Honus Wagners. That fucking matters because
I have them both.
Do you? David Copperfield.
I'm talking to Robin Satoshi. You have both of these cards, man. Whoa!
I know it's a big. I invented Pop-Tarts. I don't know if you know that about me. I don't know how much research.
Eric invented OpenAI. So it's a mixed bag here.
It's a very mixed group.
I'm really Elon Musk.
Holy shit, you look great. You're gonna have to explain some of these tweets, though. Oh my god!
I got to tell you, you have really turned it around because I was worried about you there for a while, but you're looking much better, Elon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. It's a cocaine diet, cocaine or Molly.
Listen, that's what my doctor told me with the high cholesterol. He goes, more coke.
Just rail all day.
Sleep under your desk.
Anyway. All right, so NFTs. So that is a non-integral part to this whole thing. This is something that was just tacked on by people that
wanted. Yeah. I mean, there's some cool shit you can do with them, right? Like, so let's say you have a club, right? You can have access to the club through NFTs, Right. So like, let's say there's, the Eric and Rodney club, and you guys are going to give them some kind of perks. Like you get to see a show a day early, right? You can go and sell NFTs, and those can be like the gated access to your show, right? Or you're going to have a party, you're going to wind up having a concert, you invite Beyonce, and then people want to come see Beyonce, so they need your Eric and Rodney NFT to be able to actually get into the show.
So I hope Ticketmaster hears about this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I had to go to a concert a year ago, and I had to pick up tickets, and I was like,
"No, stop!"
With my hands, and they were like, "Yeah, physical," and they were like, "You have to go to Wheel Call." I said, "I don't know what you're talking about. Where is that? Is that where the lost children are?"
Oh my god!
And I was like, "Can you put it on my phone?" And they were like, "Put it on your phone." And I was like, "Are you the insurance company? This sounds like health insurance." Because they're like, "Can you fax the documents?" I don't have a fax machine. I threw it out with the DeLorean.
When was the last time we went to the movies? Because I went to the movies recently. They don't print out tickets there either. I show them my phone. Yeah, go ahead. Like, we're done away with paper in totality. I'm for it.
The best was when you would go into a store, right? And they would be like, in New York, I'm in New York, and they would be like, I'm on the island, so you have to pay for bags, right? Yeah. So they would be like, do you want a bag? And I'd be like, well, I have to pay for it. Yes. No. So you're literally holding it. They'd be like, I'm going to email you the receipt. And I have on a mask. I'm like, this is like the perfect storm. Because imagine they're like, do you have a receipt, sir? Yeah, let me pull it up in my email here. And it never works. The phones stop working in the mall. So you're like, I don't know where it is. They're going to bury you in a bag. You're like, I can't get an internet connection.
Yeah. What a time to be alive. So remember how I was saying in the green room when I was trying to do research last night, sober, because I'm not allowed to drink anymore. And I said, me too.
I think you're doing the Molly and the cocaine, though.
I'm thinking about starting with mushrooms. Just
no drinks for me, just drugs, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
I asked my doctor. I was like, "There's no calories in mushrooms or cocaine, right?" He was giving. All right. So the first one, lightning compatibility. I can wrap my head around that. Okay. Then it gets very deep and dark very quickly. What does open validation mean?
So that just means that it's an open network, right? So that anybody can see what's actually happening on the network.
Okay. Short peg time. That's sexual. Yes.
That's funny.
That is. It's like, when you're, a guy, he's like, I need a quickie.
Robin invented Bitcoin and pegging. I don't know if you know that about Robin.
Robin.
I feel honored to know that you know this much.
Okay.
Benjamin Franklin.
Robin's nickname used to be Short Peg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting.
Dude, there's just a way that I can take this that I'm not going to go down on right now.
All right. You can if you want to.
All
right. We'll save it for the next appearance.
So short peg. So basically, what Topl uses is Bitcoin as a transaction fee token, right? So if you're going to go and mint 1,000 NFTs, you're going to do that using Bitcoin, right? But Bitcoin is native to the Bitcoin network. So in order for us to have that Bitcoin on Topl, you have to peg it to Topl, right? So you have to put it into a bridge, and you have to stick it into that bridge. Now, other layer 2s will take maybe days to unpeg that, right? To get to basically have that Bitcoin leave the peg and go back into the Bitcoin network. We can do that in less than an hour.
Okay.
So it allows for liquidity, right? And let's say if there's, in a run on a bank or something, right, and you need your Bitcoin out of your bridge as soon as possible, we're allowing you to do that pretty quickly versus others that would keep that kind of locked up.
A few years ago, I used to own some cryptocurrency on Binance, I think it was.
Satoshi, come on.
Stop pretending now.
Jeez. Him and SBF were running the numbers.
Okay.
So my personal experience is whenever there was like a huge crash, and people are trying to get rid of all their stuff, like the servers on Binance or whatever crypto currency wallet they were using just would completely crash and we couldn't move anything.
Yeah. So that's one of the problems of a centralized network, right? Binance isn't decentralized. Binance is run by by Binance, right? So they have their own servers. When you give money or crypto to Binance holds all of that for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, there's a saying in Web3, not your keys, not your crypto. Right? So if Binance crashes, well, how the hell are you going to get your money out? Or how are you going to get your crypto out? You can't. if you have it on, a wallet, like a hardware wallet, which is basically like a USB thing that you plug into your computer, then it's there. That's yours, right? Like all that crypto is stored on that device.
How do we get it on the drive though? Because like I have mine, I have crypto, and I have it with what's the company that didn't go to jail yet? Not Binance. The other one went out. Coinbase.
Yeah. Well, so Coinbase is luckily, pretty safe. They play, they play by the rules. But what you would do is you would have to send it from Coinbase to that specific wallet address, right?
Okay.
And like Ledger, like for example, Ledger is like this USB plugin thing that they're kind of the industry standard for that.
Okay, that makes sense. Because that's where I always got confused. I'm like, how do I take this 500 billion that I have here and give it by Eric a birthday card? And I just never could get it done.
And I haven't got my card, so I guess you haven't figured it out. Have you tried pegging? Have you pegged harder?
They said that if I enter one more password in, they're going to keep it, but I know they're playing.
Well, you can send it to me and I'll help.
Okay, got it. That's why you're here today.
That makes sense.
All right. I think UTXO native. Here's the thing. When I first started digital marketing, it was exhausting because like MQLs, SQLs, PPC, SEO, keywords. I was like, oh my God, you guys fucking speak English. This RGB, Taproot, pegging, UTXO native. Like, I guess I still want to go through these, but is the average person ever going to understand any of this?
No.
But here's the beauty of it though, and I think I see what you're doing here. You're getting rid of the people like us. No one's going to call up and be like, "Is your RGB better than the Taproot?" Because if I saw this, I'd be like, "I don't know what in the world they're talking about. I'm out of here."
Yeah,
I'm not smart enough to talk to these people.
So but you've kind of hit the nail on the head, right? Like the entire industry has this huge like usability problem, right? Yeah. Like your like Web3 wallet is like if you're going to interact with an application and you need to connect your wallet, it's obtuse, right? Mm. Like it's impossible to go through the steps for like your average person, right? Yeah. So and what people really aren't thinking about is how to decrease those barriers to entry. Like how do you make it easy? How do you make it so my mom can use it? Right? Because like
get rid of the passwords.
Yeah, like my book. Oh,
my mom has a book. She writes her passwords too. Yeah, my mom has a So I would just say this really quick. My mom has a notebook that she writes her passwords, and God, I love her. She writes them all down. She calls me every day, and she goes, "I don't know where the notebook is." I said, "Are you kidding me? The notebook with all the passwords?" She goes, "Yeah, I don't know where I've put it at." I said, "Look for another pad with directions to the pad with the passwords in it."
That's what you need, breadcrumbs of notebooks.
Yeah.
No, I love that feature though, man. Like I lose my phone all the time. I hate my phone. Like I hate notifications. Yeah. I just don't. Like maybe it's by nature of me being like in my 40s, but I'm like I don't want my phone. Like I want to destroy it. I want to hang out. Yeah. Like just exist without technology for a bit, right? Mm-hmm. So I lose my phone all the time, and I'm like, shit. Now I need to go find my phone because I clearly don't know where I live, and I need maps to help me get to the supermarket, which is literally down the street. Yep. So I'm like, oh, cool. Let me grab this iPad and find the phone with the iPad. Fantastic feature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's
a good feature. Yeah.
GPS, I think, people say a lot of the greatest things since sliced bread. Whatever we did that time period, GPS is the greatest thing that's happened since then. I mean, what the fuck? Maps in the old days, you'd be driving a car and trying to read a paper map, trying to go somewhere.
Like, okay, in 3 exits, you're going to make left, but I don't know which lane you're going to go from. Like, oh, God damn it, you missed the fucking exit again.
Exactly. And they give you direction.
Exactly
they can be like, head east. Fucking east. Like, what are we?
You're right about that, Eric. There are a few technologies that have really taken me by storm, and I tell you the ones I like: Bluetooth, GPS.
Yep.
I like Google Home. I like the devices that talk back, so I don't have to keep timers and that stuff. But I think beyond that, we really haven't done much.
I don't want to dumb this down too much, but I don't know about you, but when I used to have to access porn when I was a child, you'd have to go to scrambled channels and hope that amongst the scrambles, you would maybe get a nipple. And now I have the world's collection of porn in my pocket, readily available at all times. No one will talk about this because we all pretend we don't whack off. Meanwhile, 600 million people go to Pornhub every day. So it's a thing. And it's not just one guy going 600 million times. I'll tell you that much. But that's been a great invention too. Just the idea that we have the collection, the totality of human existence in our pocket is fucking wild.
Eric, you have no shame that your mother watches your show.
Oh, like she doesn't know. My mother made me. If anything, it's her fault.
So what about like all those mothers who are like, teenage boys, and they're just like all these socks, like all these crusty socks that they're picking up, and they have
very naive mothers. Why is there so much mayonnaise in the
It's
sauce
like he
again?
really loves these socks. My goodness.
I know, it's strange.
So let them go.
Keep walking in. They're so crunchy and hard.
Just be walking in the couscous fields.
He's harvesting couscous for the stew.
Gives us a good grip.
Okay, so back to your original point, or our point that we're working on here. This is very obtuse, very hard to wrap our heads around, and it doesn't get easier because then I go over here and
interoperability.
That's a normal word. I just can't pronounce it. Fungibility is a thing I see a lot of times too, and that I guess my question here, when you look at all this stuff, it goes back to my theory about marketing, which is like people used to get marketing, used to have to be funny or intriguing or interesting to capture your attention. Then we got the internet, we could measure everything, and they just figured, all right, well, we'll throw a bunch of shit, but at least we'll see who clicks on what, blah, blah, blah. You totally threw the baby out with the bathwater, and there's nothing that's entertaining or clever or charismatic. That being the case, I think if blockchain and crypto came out in the 50s, somebody would say, we need to appeal to the American public by dumbing this down and making it easy to explain and wrap your head around. Because we live in the current zeitgeist, that's not the case. How would anybody, and I know I'm belaboring the point at this point, but how would anyone wrap their head around these 4 paragraphs? The average person.
Copy them and throw them into ChatGPT.
They won't. This is for engineers, right? Like I'm not trying to sell this to my Uber driver.
Yeah,
I'm trying to sell this to a developer who works in the space and who wants to build financial services applications.
Oh, thank God. That makes me feel.
You're saying there is somebody that understands this because we've been so confused without you.
Yeah, they're nerds.
Okay.
Right. All right. Thank God.
All right. That makes sense now. Because me and Eric were like, man, I said, even Robin, Robin, have you seen any of this anywhere in Dungeons and Dragons?
He said, I was in a cave once. An elf led me in, but I still didn't understand. I'm so glad that you said it's for engineers.
The elf peg you?
What?
Did the elf peg you?
That's the only way he lets you across the river. He's going to pay.
That's how he learned about it. That's his intimate knowledge of it.
Well, it's 1 riddle and 2 peggings. Is that what it is, Robin, these days? I'm not sure what the conversion rate to the Philippines.
The fees have gone up.
What does that convert to Shroot nickels?
Beat dollars?
Yeah, beat dollars.
Beat bucks?
I started watching that again. It's a great
it's so
show.
good.
Yeah.
I think it really falls off the cliff when Michael leaves.
I totally agree. I won't watch any non-Michael Scott episodes anymore. The Andy-focused episodes bother me to my core. I don't know what it is.
Andy has a new movie now. He's made the same movie 15 times with Jennifer Garner.
He's always the same dopey character. I don't know.
He's like an idiot dad who the families, and it's like it's basically another stupid Christmas movie meets.
Oh yeah, I saw the preview.
The old switcheroo.
So what you're saying is it's an Oscar-winning performance.
It is.
As usual. Ed Helms up for another Oscar. He's just like Glenn. What's her name? Glenn Close. Okay. I like that you do all well. The last one I can wrap my head around. But Web3, can we talk about the difference between Webs 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah. So Web 1 it's just information, right? Remember, those. It's like GeoCities. It's
like Craigslist.
Craigslist.
Yeah, it's just fixed media. All I'm gonna do is just look at something and consume it. I can't interact with it, right? It's like it's like my bio on a website, and all you can do is copy and paste that text.
Okay.
Right. So that's Web 1. Web 2 is I can interact with it now. So these are the Facebooks, right? These are the Yelps. These are the Quoras. These are your banking app, right? This is our
website.
Your website, right? Because you can log in, right? So anything you can interact with is Web 2. Web 3 is anything where there's a transfer of financial or monetary or some kind of value.
Okay.
So if I'm built, that belongs to you, right? So if, for example, I build a social network and my social network sells data, but you earn money because you're on that social network and I'm selling your data, that's Web 3.
Oh.
Okay.
That makes a little bit more sense. Is this just going to keep getting deeper and deeper? Do you think is Web 4 a thing that's being discussed at this point?
Web 7.
Oh,
I have a question. I have a question too. Remember how they said that 5G was going to change the world and that it had the cure to COVID, or maybe it was COVID. I don't even remember. I got to be honest. Did it come and go, or have we got it yet? Because my phone says 5G all the time, and it seems as slow as ever.
Yeah, that's there. doing its
So
thing.
what was the point of it? Were we just was that just a marketing ploy, or is it really better? Because I haven't seen any. Like to me, I haven't noticed a significant difference. It's almost like I was expecting dial-up to go to like what we have now, right? And it's like it went from slow to slower.
I don't know, man. I don't work in television.
It's crazy, right? I don't understand it.
We'll get a 5G network on a 5G network expert on next week, and he can explain it to us like we're fives. This was very helpful. I'm not just saying this because you were on the show, but this is the first time somebody explained it from the ground up. And for 3 idiot 5-year-olds, this was very helpful. What do you think? So there's like a 4-year span where everyone kind of on LinkedIn is talking about the same shit. It's like AI now that's very hot these days. But crypto, blockchain, NFTs in the metaverse. Do you remember that weird metaverse where everyone was a metaverse expert?
Yeah.
Are we ever going to pretend to live? Like, are we going to live in virtual reality, or are we done with this?
I think some people do it, man. Like they have their Oculus, and they they go into their virtual reality parties and have virtual reality friends, and like that's their main like. Social
that's where Mark lives now. Mark Zuckerberg. He's not here anymore. He lives in the metaverse.
I posed the question because that seems very nerdy.
Can we turn it off then? You can go live there and just turn it off.
Lock them in.
He's like, my headset's dying. I need another one.
I'm just asking because it seems to me that if anyone wanted to live in a virtual world, it would be those engineers in this space who are so nerdy. They probably like talking to us for engineers must be as painful for them as it is for us, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Because if you go to parties with amateurs, normal people, normies, they can't possibly understand what it is that you do, right?
I just tell them I work in tech.
There you go.
So, see, here's the problem when you tell them that, right? Then they'll be like, "Do you know how to fix my printer?"
Oh yeah, no. I'm definitely like my family is like IT support guy.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then wife and I will be out at a party. Like, what do you do? I'm like, I work in IT.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
you gotta dumb it down for the masses.
Yeah.
You start talking about pegging, and you're gonna be getting some very
like I own a PO comparison service. And people, my mom equates that to I sell insurance. So when someone, she'll be like, you should have Rodney look at your policy.
Perfect.
Your life insurance policy. I don't know anything about life insurance. I'm licensed to sell it, but unfortunately I'm not an expert on it. And people are like, I got this policy in 1972. I have no idea what it says.
Fast pegging.
Of life insurance policy.
That's right.
All right. So in the last couple minutes, can we talk about Captain Coconut? You're a big boat guy. You live in Miami.
I moved to Miami to basically spend more time on the boat
and to save taxes.
Up in New York, the sailing season in New York is not very long.
It's 2 hours.
Yeah, it's basically like 2 hours in the summer.
May I speculate as to the quality of the Cuban sandwiches in New York as opposed to Miami? I would imagine that the Cuban sandwiches, if we rank sandwiches though, I know we have the worst, but I would argue we're gonna have some in the top 5. I think the Cuban belongs in the top 5 sandwiches of all time.
Cuban sandwich is very good.
We have the bacon, egg, and cheese
also,
here.
Also, if I have to say that, because I live in Miami, because I will get lynched if I say.
Oh yeah,
and rightfully so. First of all, if you don't like a Cuban, we need to thin the herd. We need to get your genes out of the pool because what hope is there for say you?
That's rough.
Like a Cuban, Robin, have you ever had a Cuban sandwich? You've never had a Cuban sandwich.
I have not. Lynch me.
They just have over there a sandwich.
Yeah.
No. I will not. I won't lynch you for being a virgin to the Cuban sandwich.
Yeah.
If you take a bite and don't like it, then we have to kill you.
Right.
See, we're a country full of laws. So boating, Captain Coconut made me laugh out loud. That is a great Instagram name. That might be one of the great.
It is.
I've always. Is it a sail? You sail. You're like a real boatsman.
Yeah, I have a sailboat, 33 feet, sleep 6. We take her down to the Keys. Yeah, with the whole family, just like for a week or whatever. Drop up. Starting to look around for a bigger boat. Family's growing, so either it'll be like a 50-footer or a catamaran or something.
Do you like listening to Christopher Cross when you're sailing?
No.
No yacht rock.
I love that song.
No yacht rock.
Sailing. Sorry.
No.
I always love that song.
What a nail on the head.
I do love just the sound of the sea though. Like you turn off your motor, your engine, and you just hear nothing but like the waves hitting your hull. It's just, it's so aggressively power chill. It is just like an aggressively power chill experience.
I think there is a pull with humans to the ocean. I think there's not anyone that doesn't like I'm not a real water guy, but drinking and watching the waves, that's a delightful activity.
Yeah, I mean that's how Calm makes all their money.
You got to be a weirdo not to like the sound of the Yeah, I've met actually, this is oddly enough, I've met 2 people in my life didn't like pizza and they didn't like the beach or the water.
That's insanity.
I don't know them anymore.
You know what a pretty good day is? You get yourself a Pride Whopper. You go by the ocean, a little bit of pegging on a boat, and bada bingo, bada mango. That's a top 5 day. All right, hey, listen, the show's almost over. Do you want to, for all the engineers out there listening, do you want to pimp the old website? Where can they contact you?
Pimp my website. Yeah, it's Topl.co. For all the engineers listening, go to Topl.co, join our Discord, right? Ask questions, build cool shit. Yeah. Change the financial markets. Beautiful. I know you guys can do it.
Yeah, you're gonna get pegged so hard and so fast it's gonna blow your goddamn mind. All right,
this is very productive.
Very productive show. Stick around in the green room. We have to log off the official thing, but we will be back tomorrow, America. Have a lovely evening. Go get yourself a nice private